What images come to mind when you hear the word debate? Some of you may think of one of the most recently heated debates of our time between two enthusiastic, very polarized presidential candidates, Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton. Even those deeming not to care about politics tuned in to watch this neck-to-neck showdown. As previously mentioned, argumentation entails different positions. In this case, it was very clearly between the Republican and Democratic Party. Similarly, to have a debate, we need more than one party involved. In this video, we will discuss 4 items. 1, what is debate and what type of debate we use in this class. 2, fundamentals of debate, specifically looking at persuasion and rhetoric. 3, a very general discussion of different positions we can take in a debate. Keep in mind that these will expand significantly leading into our second and third debate. And finally, different types of positions we will investigate in this class. Debate defined is the process of inquiry and advocacy, a way of arriving at a reasoned judgment on a proposition. Reasoned judgment includes making a decision on something based on evidence. Now, there is a whole section of our textbook related to the different types of evidence. For now, I would like for you to think about evidence that sways you in your opinions on issues. Do you tend to focus on numerical data? Are you looking for cold, hard facts and research that has shown time and time again the same consistent results? Or do you possibly believe that the opinions, experiences, and beliefs of those involved in the issue at hand should be explored and provide reasonable support for claims being made? Typically, strong arguments will include a surplus of different types of evidence to help support the claims being made, including both qualitative and quantitative research. For instance, if you are currently a nurse and your proposition deals with discrimination in healthcare, you may have personal experiences that build your credibility. Not be sufficient to only lean in on your own personal experiences as a healthcare professional. Overly exemplifying your role may make your arguments seem more biased. So be careful of that. It's really about balance. Now, within our class, we use academic debate. This type of debate is conducted on propositions in which the advocates have an academic interest, and the debate typically is presented before a teacher, judge, or audience without direct power to render a decision on the proposition. This type of debate proceeds without interruptions. This is the type of debate we will be using in our class. Additionally, debates include persuasion and rhetoric. Persuasion is communication intended to influence the acts, beliefs, attitudes, and values of others. Rhetoric, on the other hand, is a universal art of winning the mind by arguments, which means not merely arguments in the courts of justice and all other sorts of public councils, but in private conferences as well, which includes our academic environment. Rhetoric involves effective and persuasive speaking. We cannot engage in argumentation and debate without persuasion or rhetoric. There will clearly be a winner in our debates, and the methods of persuasion employed to do so must be strategically delivered. Moving on, additionally in our debates, we will have 2 positions, the affirmative and the negative positions. Again, we have 2 chapters devoted to the affirmative and negative positions, specifically looking at propositions of value and policy. For right now, to make it simple, the affirmative position will be for something, and the negative position will be against something. Simple as that. Let's leave it there. For instance, if the proposition were the Illuminati exists, the affirmative would argue for this proposition, and the negative would argue against it, stating that the Illuminati does not exist. For now, we are keeping it simple. Now moving on, the different types of propositions. There are 3. These include propositions of fact, propositions of value, and propositions of policy. Because our first debate focuses on propositions of fact, we will focus on that here. Propositions of fact look at whether something is true or false. The affirmative maintains that a certain thing is true, while the negative maintains that it is false. Examples of propositions of fact include 1, pit bulls are not dangerous animals. 2, the Illuminati is real. And 3, stress is good for you. As you can see here, these propositions are less about your beliefs or advocating for a change in structure. Instead, you are arguing whether something is, in other words, factually true or false. Are pit bulls dangerous? Is the Illuminati real? Is stress good for you? These can all simply be responded to in a yes or no fashion. However, it is your responsibility to show why these propositions are true or false. This is what our first debate proposition will look like. Hopefully, this information will give you a broader understanding of debate and argumentation and the different components that we will be including within our classroom dynamic and our debates.